Hello darlings, my name is MiBo and welcome back to the Gimp tutorial. Now the last time we sketched a monkey, and this time what I've done is I've gone ahead and changed the opacity on the sketch layer down to about 40%, 40.5%, something like that. And I've made a new layer under the monkey layer group, layer number 3. This is under the color layer group. So today we're going to go ahead and use the paths edit tool up here, create and edit paths. Now this is what I always use to make my nice crisp black lines. I choose to use black. You can choose whatever color you want. So I'm going to select that. Now you'll see in here where it says edit mode. You have design, edit, move, and polygonal. I don't use polygonal. I never have. It just restricts the editing to polygons rather than curves. So design lets you place the anchors, and edit lets you add anchors to the path, and move lets you move it around. And then once that's finished, you have select from path and stroke path. I always use selection from path, but I'll show you both of them. So let's go ahead and we're going to zoom in. We're going to start with the tail. Now the space bar is a shortcut for the move tool, which my cursor's not showing up, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and use back to the pen tool. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start using this pen tool. We're going to put, this is our first anchor right here. This is our anchor. Now we're going to go ahead. We're going to put one anchor here. That's anchor point A, anchor point B. Now, I'll show you what the stroke path tool is. I'm going to go ahead and stroke it. You'll see you have a stroke line. You can use a solid color, a pattern, anti-aliasing. You can use pixels. It goes up to the smallest I've used is 0.5. You can stroke it with some kind of tool. You can use emulate brush dynamics, everything. So we're going to go ahead and stroke this. And you'll see that it just makes a straight line. It just strokes it automatically. And it is a fuzzy line. I want a nice crisp line. So we're going to go ahead and undo that. Now we're going to click on design. We still have our anchor point selected here. We're going to put another anchor point right there. Now we're going to hit edit. Edit lets us add anchors. And that also allows us to move the lines around with the anchor. So we're going to make this, we want to make this curve right here. It's similar to this curve. It doesn't have to be exact. You can always change things. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to lift this up. Now you see how it stopped like that? That's fine. You can always hit the design button, hit design, select it like this, and you can always move it. Now we'll go back to edit because I really want to edit this one too at the bottom. Well, the goal here is to make a selection, and then you can paint that in. So we're going to put this here. So far it looks good. We're going to go back to selecting the first anchor. Now you're going to stretch it. Want to stretch it like that, maybe too much. That looks good. So we're going to select this one too. I always do them the same in case I need to change something, because sometimes the lines will cross. So that looks good. That looks good. Now to get this, we're going to add another anchor point here. We're just going to pull it down. We use this handle. We're going to go up until about there. We're going to pull this one down here. As you see, we're making these nice lines. So we're going to try to do the same here. Pull it like this. Pull this one down. Now don't worry if you mess up, like there's this space here. You can always go back to design and select it, and you can move this any way you want. I want to try to smooth this out a little bit. This line is going to be too thick, so I'm going to make this thin. That looks good. Now here I want to try to maybe a little bit more, perhaps, make it a little more rounder. And here I'll probably want to put another one. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put another one here. This is all trial and error. It's all trial and error. That looks good. So we'll go ahead and selection from path. And you'll see the marching ants here. Now I always take the paintbrush tool, paint over it, because sometimes the paint bucket doesn't get everything. I'll show you right now. See here, these are selections here that you can't see because it's very small pixels. But if you take the paintbrush tool, you go over it, you'll see the developing lines right here. Now if you keep going over this spot, you'll see the line up here. These are just very thin lines as opposed to very thick lines. So we're going to go to select, we're going to do none. So now we have this nice line. So now we have to make another one. Back to design. I'm working a little crooked here because I've hidden my mouse so the mouse clicks don't get in the way. So what I'm going to do different now is I'm going to put this here. And And I'll show you how you can do multiple paths like this, so you don't have to keep doing a selection, make a path, make a selection, make a path, make a selection. So we're gonna do this. Now this tool is very, very, very versatile. Go ahead and move this anchor over here like that. I absolutely love this tool. This is my favorite tool that I've learned how to use. And the reason why I would want to do this was Nick from Rational Gamers was curious as to how I did it. Like I said in the last one. And I really, really want to share this with you guys because I looked for a tutorial on the path tool and I didn't find one. I found one guy on YouTube and all he did was draw a doodle and sped it up and that's it. I didn't understand what he was doing. Nobody understood what he was doing. So that's why I'm explaining this tool to you. Now it is tedious, but it's worth it. So now as you can see here, we have this path here. Now if you hit design, whatever anchor you hit last, it's going to have a connection. So you don't want that. So what you want to do, you're going to hit edit. You're going to click on one of these anchors. You're going to go back to design. We're going to start here this time. See? New anchor, no connection. Always remember that. So we're going to go here. You can put as many anchor points as you want, but I usually just use 3 as my main. It's just my thing. You can put as many as you want. But I think 3 just works good. We're going to nudge this here. What we want to do is we want this to match. We want it to line up. So if you move this like this, it's all about tweaking. It's about, you know, experimenting. There we go. Now these lines are crossed. That's good if you just go like this. Actually, what I want to do is I want to curve this here. So what I'm going to need to do is add some more anchors. Like this. So go ahead and I'm going to make another one. This time we're going to connect these. See, you can touch that. You don't want to do that. So when I go past it, you can always edit it later, like I said. So edit. Now we're going to try to get this to work without having to make too many separate paths. So like I said, it's about, you can try to visualize it, or you can just do what I'm doing, which is I'm testing it. I'm experimenting to see how it'll work. Edit this. What we can do is we can be careful, not edit. We want design. Design. See, I make mistakes too. And I can drag it here. It'll connect. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag this one here. We're going to drag this here. And since you're editing, you can drag these anchors around so that they can connect. Let's see. It's all about, you know, trial and error. That's all anything ever is. You just gotta test everything. Oh, we don't want to move that one. We want this one. Nope, not that one either. Did I get it? No. There we go. I'm gonna put these here. We're gonna pull these down here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add another anchor. We're gonna go back to edit. We're gonna add an anchor right there. So we want it to curve just slightly to match. So now we're gonna hit the selection button. We're gonna grab our paintbrush and we're gonna see how we did. I hope it's not picking up my clicks here. There we go. Now don't worry about it. If it's too thick here, don't worry about it. Because you can always grab this. I'm gonna go back to design and we're gonna cut this here. Now I never use the eraser tool. I always use the lasso tool because for me, I think it gives me a crisper cut. We're gonna select from path. There we go. You'll notice I'm doing this because I have hotkeys set up for recording, so I don't want to stop recording and then make that mistake. So we're gonna go ahead and take our lasso tool. Now don't be afraid to mess up because you can always undo it. So you missed a spot here. We're gonna select this. This is add to current selection. And just go like they're gonna add it to the selection, and then we're gonna delete it. We're gonna select none. There you go. We fixed it. That looks beautiful. Let's have a look at it. We're gonna go to let's go to 100%. Yeah, looks good, looks good. So now we're gonna go on to his face. There we go. And this should be good. Let's do this. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna go ahead. And save it. You never know when it'll crash on you. You always want to try this work because this is very tedious. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna put the anchor here. I'm gonna put it over here. This is gonna make this a nice thin line, and this is gonna be a thicker line. This is typically how I like to do faces to show depth. So I'm gonna draw this here. And drag these handles. These are handles. Anchor, handles. Put this here. Now I want to make this a little bit thinner than what I'm gonna have over here. Like that. Now see, this is gonna be a nice thick line. I don't want it to be that thick, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna nudge it just a little bit. Go back to edit, touch the anchor, go back to design. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the ear. And like I said, you'll see I'm consistent with how I do things. I'm always gonna be having 3 anchor points. Never any more than 3. Very rarely will I need to do 3. I'm gonna leave that thick like that because I think it'll look nice. And I'll always try to get to match up with the other side. Come on, grab the anchor. There we go, grab the handle. Go like that. Now here, I don't want this to be that thick, so I'm gonna drag this, I'm gonna drag it down. Just like that. Nudge, there we go. I think that'll look good. So we're gonna nudge just a little bit over here because we don't want it to cut into the face. This one can cut into the face, just a smidgen. We're gonna do select. Now we're gonna paint it. Now like I said, this is a very tedious one because of the feathers, so it could take many parts in order to finish this with the pen tool. Do select none. There we go, it's looking good, it's looking good. Nothing has to be perfect. I don't like perfect lines. I think everything should have some sort of flaw in it. That's why I leave thick lines, thin lines, misshapen ears. That's just my preference. Excuse me. So now for the eyes, I like to have this at a thinner point and this at the thicker point. So we're gonna do 1 point, 2 point, and the 3rd point. Go back to edit. And again, it's all trial and error. It's always trial and error. Maybe I'll have it thicker on the top and then thinner on the bottom. And like I said, you can always edit these. You can always move around. Nothing is set in stone, so don't think if you made a mistake that you have to be stuck with it. That looks good. Let's make this a little bit thinner. I think that's gonna look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this because I need a baseline. When it comes to the eyes, I tend to do one eye first and then the other. Oh, excuse me. So as soon as this comes back, I'll go ahead and get that done. Could be a little while. May not be a little while. Who knows? If you have any questions as to anything with Gimp, to my knowledge, I will try my best to answer. And if you also, I'm going to do a Twitter poll if you want to see me finish inking this monkey, or if you just want to see me skip the inking part and finish it on my own time, and then show you how I color. Because I only use things that are standard with Gimp. I have downloaded a lot of different brushes, and it's a lot of different brushes. I don't use them anymore, but I just have them in case I want to use them. So I just use the standard brushes with Gimp. I'll use the hard brush. I very rarely use the soft brush. I'm only using that now because it's just there. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go do this. Yeah, see, that looks good. I like this. I like this. Now, a lot of times you may think it's hard to match these up, but it's not. It's really not. You can pull down a guide and use it, but I just like to eyeball things. I've always been that way. So we're gonna put that point there and that one there. That should help us. Pull this up a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and design it, and then we'll move it around need be. And again, it's not a complicated tool, but when you need to find something, when you need help and you look for tutorials and nobody has one. If you make an extra anchor, don't worry about it. So if nobody has one, I tend to do it on my own. This is not an easy tool to understand on your own at all. It's a very complicated thing. I just did it by trial and error. So I'm really happy that I can share this with you guys. So thank you again, Nick, for asking me to do this. New selection. Hopefully I got this right. We're gonna wait a little bit. I do not have the most powerful processor under the sun, but it'll do. And I'm probably not gonna cut any of this out because for me, this is also what I go through when I do any of this. My little one, stop playing with that. Those are mommy's earphones. My little Peachy's over here trying to help me. She's trying to help mommy. Trying to help mommy ink the sketch. No, don't play with mommy's earbuds. So, there we go. It didn't take very long. And she's still playing with them, so that's okay, she can play with them. And select none. I like that. It matches up. It's nice. It's nice. You'll see that I'm not following exactly the sketch. That's alright, because it's just a rough sketch. It's just an outline for me. Go back here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something different. We're going to do this piece of vest. And it's going to be interesting because I want a line right here, but I don't want to do an extra path. So I'm going to show you a trick. It's not a trick. It's really something I learned on it. So we're going to make our points here. We're going to go to edit. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this in first to show that it's falling. Then we're going to pull this away to show it's falling off of his chest. So now we're going to put an anchor point here. We're going to drag it in. What you're going to do next is you're going to take this handle and drag it back out. Say about that far we'll do it. So we're going to do another one. This, we're going to pull it in, and we're going to drag it back out. So about there, I'd say. Now we're going to put back in, just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab our design tool, design option, and we're going to take this anchor, we're going to pull it up, and we're going to pull it up, like this. So now that's going to give us something really, really interesting. We're going to nudge it back down just a smidgen. There we go. And these are too far in, so I'm going to just nudge these back a little bit. And this should give us the desired effect. So we're going to do selection. We're going to wait for this to process. And you'll see all the marching lines. You'll see there will be, when you cross the path and you do selection, it'll skip it, so you get this really neat cut. And when it comes to folds on clothing, it can be a really unique style. Or you can cut it in such a way that you have a nice thick line and then it tapers down to a real thin line and then back out to a thick line again. That's also very interesting. It's all different styles. It's all experimentation and everything. And like I said earlier, I showed it to you. You can do multiple paths. You can do multiple selections as long as you know what you're doing. And again, if you make a mistake, that's fine. Yeah, this came out. We may have to redo it. No, perfect, perfect. See that? You see this? Look at this. Look at that. That's a nice wrinkle. And you don't have to do anything. Just select none. Look at that. That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be good. So now we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna finish off this vest. And I know I don't have much to talk about. I really don't have much to talk about here. So, now here's an interesting thing. This section right here. You can actually make this line up with this arm by simply making one anchor longer than the other. So we're going to pull this down like this. We're going to tuck this in a little bit so it shows it's falling from his collarbone. I'm going to leave that like that. So we're going to design. We're going to pull this down a little bit because we don't want it to go past his neck. Selection. Excuse me. My throat's a little dry. Select the paintbrush. See this nice thin line we've got going on? Thin lines, and then it slowly tapers out. Look at that. See, that's going to be nice. That's going to be really, really cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish off this arm. And I'll go ahead and leave that there, but I'm going to do his neck first. I really want to do his neck. Just so it doesn't look so funny. Just so it doesn't look so funny. Tuck it in a little bit, like that. I'm gonna cut this out just a wee bit. We're gonna leave it like that. Let's get to work on this. So this is gonna be his shoulder. I'm gonna pull this down first, just like this. And then we're gonna pull it up, like that. Back to design. We're gonna go here like this. Now you'll see what I'm doing is I'm doing it differently. Sometimes I'll put my anchors down here, and I'll taper it off up here. I want it to taper off up here, because we got some fur going on up there. No, I don't want that. I don't want to grab the handle. What I want is to grab the line so I can put the anchor in there. That. I'm going to do the same thing here. I don't want to do that either. That's actually going to look fine, probably. So we're going to move on. We're going to add the fur here. Oh my goodness, I can't see anything. What's going on? Okay, there we go. We're going to tuck this one and then tuck that one. Design. Latch this one here and tuck that one in. So we're going to selection from path. There we go. Alright, done. I'm gonna just, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off. And you can let me know in the comments if you want to see me finish inking this. I'm not sure if I'll have anything to talk about while I ink it. But you never know. Or you can I'll just ink it on my own time. I'll pencil it on my own time. And then we can just move on to coloring, if you're interested in that. Now, it may not look like there's a line here, but there's a line there. Grab this like this. Like that. I'm gonna tuck this down like that. I'm gonna tuck this down. Selection from path. Go back here. I'm not even sure if half my voice is showing up. It's very, very windy outside for some unknown reason. It feels like a hurricane, but no wind, no rain, no dangerous stuff. Just a whole... Well, there's wind, but there's no rain accompanying with it. There's just a whole lot of wind. And some clouds. There we go. It's coming along nicely, isn't it? Now, what do I want to do? I want to leave that there. Alright, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to make a little fuzzball. The same way we made that. The same way that we made this fold here. So we go like this. Tuck it down. You're gonna tuck it down. You're gonna take this one, you're gonna tuck it in. Just like that. So the other one, we're gonna tuck it in just like that. Select it, and we're gonna see what that gives us. It looks good. Looks interesting. Go ahead and give this a minute to load. That looks good. I like that. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna try to finish this off real quick. Remember to hit the design button. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna have it like this, just like that. This is gonna come in like that. Like I said, this is all trial and error. This is just how I do things. And I mean, a lot of times I'll just go ahead and work on a couple of lines at a time. Try something new. And if you try this, let me know. Please let me know. I want to see pictures. I want to see how you guys use it. I'm really curious to see that. Because as far as I know, I'm pretty sure there are others who use the path tool, but this is how I use it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. And this is working pretty good for how much stuff I have running. And for how much I'm recording here, it's behaving fairly well. I'm gonna go ahead. See if I can go ahead and save it. I forgot to save periodically. Always save. Never forget to save. Save, save, save. I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna let that work. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add that elbow. Once we can do this, go ahead and add the elbow, and then I'll probably leave it at that because I'm pretty sure this is getting to be quite long, and it's difficult for me to sit through this. So it doesn't let me okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay, select none. Oh, back here. Now this is gonna be interesting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a little nub, like this. Just a little nub. And it's, you know, it's perspective, it's practice. Just practice, practice, practice. There's nothing too unique about this. I mean, I've been drawing since my early teens, even, well, earlier than that, and I'm just now learning how to do all this. So, we're gonna go have a look at him. Let's go to 100%. I'm gonna go ahead and take the sketch layer off. See how crisp those lines are? I'm gonna save. Look how crisp that is. Look how nice that is. This is gonna be a nice monkey with wings. Flying monkey. Go ahead and add the sketch layer back on. I'm gonna go ahead and save one more time. And again, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, hated it, and have a comment or suggestion, then put it in the box below. And darlings, let me know if you want to watch me pen tool the rest of this, and I'll just not talk. I'll add some music. You just watch me. Or if you just want me to finish this on my own time, and then go ahead and show you how I color. So again, thank you all so much for watching. And again, if you'd like to hit it, have a comment or suggestion, put it in the box below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Alright? Bye bye now.